Force Projection with Joey and James.
All right, here we go. Jumping in. Episode 7.
Yep.
Force Projection. I'm Joey. That's James.
Yep, that's me.
Special guest.
Danny B.
He's back.
Yeah.
Glad
In
to
the
be
house.
back.
Yes,
Glad to
sir.
be back, guys.
Okay, well, we kind of just dived in here, and we don't really have a topic per se.
Actually, that's what we're gonna start with. Dan,
Oh.
you listened to our last one. We answered some questions.
Oh,
and
yes,
stuff.
I did.
You had some comments or disagreements.
I had a couple of things to address.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, so we talked about Return of the Jedi, and if they were actually murdering or cooking.
The Ewoks.
Oh,
yeah, the Ewoks.
Yeah.
The Ewoks.
If
Are
they were going to eat
cooking,
them?
or are they murdering Han Solo and Luke?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's...
Okay,
And
so you
Chewie.
guys said they were murderers.
No. I said I think they were gonna eat them. I said maybe they're just murderers, but I'm pretty sure they were gonna cook and eat them.
And I thought Joey was saying that they were murderers.
Well, I think, if they were going to
They-
eat them, they had to murder them first.
They would. Okay, so they put Han Solo on a stick,
And
like
Luke,
you would
yeah.
see a pig.
Right.
You know, you've seen that before, where a pig's laid on a stick,
Yeah.
cooking on a fire. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna cook everybody. They're gonna do it one by one. Han Solo is the appetizer. Luke Skywalker would probably be the main course.
Why do you
What
think
about
that?
Chewie?
Chewie, well, he could be the dessert.
If
I
they
don't,
were
I don't
gonna-
know, but
If they were gonna eat Chewie, how come they didn't shave his fur off first?
maybe they like to eat fur. Maybe it's kind
Does a lion shave a deer before he eats it in the wild?
These are Ewoks. The meat they had set up though is just meat. You know. There's
But
not-
that's true.
I don't know. There may have been
Who
some
was
fur
that?
on
By
there,
the way,
actually.
do we know what that trap was for when they set that?
Probably capturing other predators
It's probably
or something.
capturing prey so they can eat because
Okay.
everybody needs to eat, and I think Ewoks are just trying to catch prey to eat.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough.
And another thing, the whole ship thing, you guys were naming all these ships, the A-Wing, the X-Wing, etc., but I never heard the Millennium Falcon in that discussion, and it shocked me.
Well, James pointed out that he never got to do his top ships. So if he would like to retcon,
Falcon's not going to make my list. Not even top 5.
really?
Wow.
Okay, well then let's go. Let's go because I'd love to. I can't remember exactly my top 5 from last time, but I would definitely throw
You put the
X-Wings one.
Yeah, you put the blockade runner on your list, but
I
no
did.
Falcon.
I did. I love the blockade runner.
Yeah.
I think it looks really cool.
Yeah. Falcon
Okay,
doesn't
so
look-
James, give me your top 5
Uh,
from 5 to 1. Can you do that?
no, I don't know what my top 5 would be in general.
Okay, well, you don't have to put it in any specific order. Just give me your 5 favorite ships.
Okay.
Besides the
so,
Interceptor.
No, Interceptor's going to be number 1. X-Wing's probably still number 2. From there, I don't know. From there, it's a little iffy. I probably put a Star Destroyer in there. I really like that ship design. I like
too.
the B-Wing a lot
The B-Wing from Rebels.
with the super laser.
Super laser.
It was a prototype. It's a prototype,
Right,
James.
it is a prototype.
You have to accept it
It is
now.
a prototype. It's fine. It's fine. They're not all like that.
And then probably anything, I guess, else that's not the Falcon for my number 5 slot.
And why is that? You
Uh,
have a quarry against the Falcon?
It's too popular.
it's just
It's too good of a
I
choice.
like no. I guess because I'm looking at ship in the generic sense instead of like specific ships. Like
Okay.
I'm naming like X-wing, not like Poe's X-wing. You know what I mean? The Falcon I have a connection to and do like in particular. I'm just
Okay.
talking about like the YT-1300 is what I think in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I guess
the YT-1300 doesn't make it. Cause
Doesn't make my list.
I guess.
but I do like the Falcon in particular. Yes.
But you know, it's funny you do say that because I think in the Star Wars universe, it's not regarded as like a great ship.
The YT-1300.
Yeah. What
I-
I mean, is it?
I think
or
it's-
just when after Han got done with
I
it.
think
and
it's
after,
probably regarded as like a fine ship for transporting things, but not maneuvering or anything else that he does with it that we see. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that actually more in Solo. I wish they would have gone into the building of it and actually what's its like actual purpose. This has probably been answered in canon before, so please forgive me. But if they would have actually dived into that in the movies, where they actually said like the YT-1300 was built on Corellia, it was to transport.
I think so. Probably cargo mainly. I don't think there's a lot of room for people.
Cargo. I mean, and was it a cheap ship for them to build, or was it like a high end one? Was it like I don't know.
I don't think these are things people are clamoring to know in the movie.
Well,
like the average moviegoer.
Sure, but I don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, well, I'm just saying they could have. There could have been something they could have thrown in there, a little nugget.
But we
for,
needed droids' rights.
Yeah, droids. That's okay. You want to talk about Let's talk about Solo. James, what did you hate about Solo? Besides everything.
It wasn't everything, but I didn't like.
Really?
I didn't like a lot of stuff. Yeah, there is one thing I did hate. Almost made me walk out of the theater.
Wow. Please.
Yeah.
Please enlighten us, James.
I did not for two reasons. One, I was visiting someone out of state. I went with them, and as of that point, they were my ride. And two, there was about 5 minutes of movie left. So it was when I saw Darth Maul. Hated that. When he showed up for almost no reason other than I know they're going to try to make like a spin-off movie with it, and he ignites his lightsaber for like no reason, and I'm like, he's just there for all. He's so shoehorned in on a movie that I felt shoehorned in so much leading up to that. I'm like, I'm going to try to eat everything else they're going to shoehorn in. They're going to try to do the Kessel Run. They're going to try to do everything with we've heard about Han Solo's backstory, and then at the end, just Darth Maul got shoved in there for almost no reason. So close to Han Solo's background, and
you didn't like the Kelso Run thing that they kind of incorporated in the movie. You didn't like that?
No, I didn't like basically everything that he mentioned in his past. They try to shove into one movie.
Yeah,
I didn't like that as much. If they'd just done that and not some of the other stuff, then maybe. But I don't know. I get it was supposed to like give me a path of his life a little bit, but
the Darth Maul thing was kind of like a random factor for me. But
I did think I just thought he should have died in the Phantom Menace. And I mean, as the point is, the movie's out at least. If we go back and change it, 1999, not have him die, okay, cool. But as the point, he gets cut in half and falls down a bottomless pit. I feel like he's dead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, as far as retconning goes, I think that's actually is the closest thing to retconning you get in Star Wars is them bringing Maul back in Clone Wars, the cartoon show, just because I think that was one of the highlights of the prequels at the time that everybody kind of agreed that like Darth Maul looked cool and he was badass, right?
Yeah.
I think George Lucas and Filoni, when they made the Clone Wars, they were like, maybe we should bring him back, because the kids liked the way he looked, and they could bring him back and explore that story a little bit more. And again, I think he just looked really cool. And going back to, but it's an origin story, okay?
Right.
So if they do the Han Solo movie, and we've talked about the Kessel Run and parsecs and all these things, and then they don't do it, and then they're getting yelled at that they didn't address it.
Yeah, but
it's damned if they do. But I will give you this. I will say this. I like the Kessel Run. I like how they made it. It's not what I thought it was in my head. Like I thought it was a race. Like I thought they were
really?
like. What did you think the Kessel? Or I thought it was like a course that somebody had to do.
Yeah.
And they had to do it in a certain amount of time. And he got the best time doing it, or he was racing other ships at the same time during it. I didn't think it was like. I didn't think they did. I still liked the way they did it. I think it was different and cool. And
I knew what it was from Legends, so I guess my expectations were something similar to that, which it was something similar to that in that it wasn't a race. But so I'm not trying to say that I dislike it for what they did with it there. I just don't like that. I felt that like they shoehorned everything in one movie.
Sure, but Legends, as cool as it was, it's not the end all be all. It's not not the Bible of Star Wars per se.
No, there was a lot of bad stuff. There were some things that were better in there than what's been erased.
Right.
Some really popular characters like Mara Jade and stuff that I'm sure, or Thrawn was in there and they brought him back. But there's a lot of cool things in there.
Yeah, they're cherry picking the good stuff from these books.
But there's a lot of really bad stuff in Legends.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think.
Darksaber with the Hutts building their own super weapon that looks like a lightsaber when it shoots in space. And
the Kelso Run, I really didn't think it was a race. It was just kind of was a up in the air thing for me, like meaning it could mean a lot of things to me is how the way I took it.
I guess, but that's but I think what you're saying though is like I think that's what I did. Like it was such a vague thing mentioned in the movie that it let everybody's imagination run wild, which is cool. Which is like actually the cool, but which is really cool that George Lucas put. He's like, I'll just say there was a Kessel Run, and then it just blows everybody's imagination out.
Right.
Like, what's this?
These people have histories. It's part of the world.
Yeah.
Star Wars always has looked lived in. Everything looks worn down in certain parts, unless it's the Imperial ships. Everything looks like you would expect it to. It's worn down in like these poor parts, and it's nice in the nice parts, but it looks lived in. And part of that is sprinkling history that we don't know. Somebody's mentioning something they did in the past. It makes them feel like they're part of this lived-in world.
Right, and then like saying like they say a word and like everybody knows what they're talking about in the movie, but you're like, I don't know that word. Why does everybody know about that?
Yeah,
and I think that goes into that lived-in thing too. But okay, so if you're right, it will feel shoehorned in if you see Darth Maul in Solo, and there isn't follow-up.
And
to
it was
right?
very confusing.
Yeah. There's no follow-up.
Really confusing for people that have watched all the Star Wars.
Sure, and I totally understand
and you see
that.
him in Solo, you're like, wait, what?
But so here's what I want. Here's what I think.
So the story changes, kind of, in a sense.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people that are hating on like the sequels is that there's in like canon material now, like Legends doesn't matter. Okay, now Disney comes out and says everything matters now. Everything's connected now, and now they make Solo, which does connect to Clone Wars, which is widely loved by the Star Wars fan base. Maybe not. I mean, you guys probably don't hate it, but like you guys haven't dived into it. But
I liked it more than Rebels.
Right, and it has been widely accepted as a very a good piece of Star Wars to a majority. I would say a majority of the fans. All right, and so
which one?
The Clone Wars, the animated show, which brought back Darth Maul.
Okay,
all right, so what I'm saying is that now they finally go back and try to connect some dots and try to put some stuff like, yeah, we're gonna follow canon. Like, and the reason they put Darth Maul in there is because at that time he came back from Clone Wars and he was trying to get revenge on Obi-Wan, and he was running the Crimson Dawn. Right, he was running the crime underground thing, and they said, we were trying to put a character here. Like, who do we put in here who would be running a crime ring, and who could fit into the slot? And I think everybody looks at canon. They look at what we have so far of Clone Wars is canon, and everything else is Legends. They go, who could we put in here? Well, Darth Maul makes sense in this timeline. He's still alive here. He's come back.
But the majority of viewers, even if the majority of fans like Clone Wars,
but this is what I'm saying. But now a lot of the fans go, well, now you're not following Legends. You're not nothing connects. You know, the books, the cartoons. There's this.
You don't
big
even
disconnect.
have to use Crimson Dawn.
Well, okay, but my bigger point is that they tried to do a deep cut for people. That's a deep cut. Is it not?
Some of these movies start to feel incestuous. Like when I'm watching Rogue One and I see we mentioned this briefly, Dr. Ezvin and Ponda Baba on this thing, and they bump into them and they're gonna get off the planet before it explodes. But they're the Cantina guys that gets the arm cut off and stuff. Mm-hmm. When we see them in Rogue One, like they're there and it makes the universe feel smaller instead of like bigger. And I think it's the same thing when you start. Of course, it's going to be Darth Maul.
Okay, but I would have to imagine too that like if you got a chance to make Rogue One, let's say you're writing it, you're writing it, right? Like, and you've watched all the other films, and like, it's like, you know, like I get to play with the toys, right? It's like, dude, yeah, why wouldn't I? Like, I could do it. I could put them in here. Like, this would be cool. Like, sometimes it's just cool to have them in there too, and it doesn't. And like, I don't see it as a negative. Right. As far as like fan service, fan service isn't a bad thing.
Fan service can be two different ways, though. When I see those guys, it pulls me out of the movie because I'm thinking, why even put them in? It's making me focus on them instead of what's happening in the movie. When I see Darth Vader go in the hallway scene, that's fan service, but draws me into the movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, but there's
two different types of fan service.
That was my favorite scene.
Yeah,
but Walrus Man isn't there. He's not like an integral part. It's just like a background thing to make people go, oh,
Right.
Like, yeah, like
Draw-
they
draw-
are
draw-
paying attention. Like, at that time, they are alive at that point. So it's like, yeah, we could throw them in, and it makes the universe feel familiar.
Smaller.
And like, or familiar or smaller, which is, I mean, okay, so what, everybody's supposed to be new characters and not supposed to bring back anybody else? It's only fan service in a bad way if you don't like it. But if you do like it, you're like, that's the great fan service.
Vader was in Rogue One, but it didn't make it feel smaller. It made sense. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel shoehorned in that same sense. He wasn't a big part, and at the end when he's trying to get the plans because he's following up on the show.
those two...
Yeah, and everybody's waiting for some sort of a Vader scene
Yeah.
for that movie. I mean...
Actually...
People need to see that, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of a Vader scene, and I thought it was perfect.
And actually, I think the shoehorn scene in Rogue One, honestly, is when when Krennic goes to Mustafar.
I agree.
I think that's a shoe. I think
Yeah.
that's more shoehorned in.
That's how I felt. Well,
yeah.
I feel like that should be cut though. Like,
but the Walrus Man isn't a big plot point. It's just to go like, oh yeah, we know that they're around at this time, so wouldn't it be cool if it came and it didn't work for you, and that's fine, you know. But I think that that just because you see like a familiar character walking in the background doesn't mean the movie sucks and that everything is shoehorned in. They were just, it's like seeing an X-Wing, like, oh, it's shoehorned. I don't know. That's probably a horrible explanation or a horrible comparison, but I don't see it as fan service to put those people in because it doesn't really affect the movie either way.
I was only using that term because that's what you use.
It's just cool.
But, okay, but it's a negative for me. It's not going to ruin the movie. I'm not going to say it sucks because of that, but it's still a negative. So, but one of the to Solo, seeing Maul in there at all did make me want to just. I was like, a lot of people I heard afterwards, they're like, oh man, not like, oh, he's alive because they kind of knew, but they're like, oh, it's cool to see him on screen again, like in an actual movie.
But you know, he was back in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, which I didn't like either though.
Okay.
So
and that's fine.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, okay.
Like, I think he was one of the only real good, well-done villains in the prequels. I don't think Dooku was that threatening. I don't think Grievous was that threatening. But Maul was. He wasn't very talkative, and he was very skilled when we see him fight. And there's something about him that's a little intimidating. And he was a well-done villain. So I understand the appeal to him. I understand why you feel like you made a mistake. And you know what? Star Wars, you can bring it back. And I don't know what's happening with Palpatine now, if he's back or not. But I do know that if they start doing a little much, it's going to become a little bit like comic books. Darth Maul is back. Maybe Palpatine's back. Maybe Boba Fett's back. And, you know, somebody dies, but they're not really dead. They survive.
Okay, well,
somehow.
then the sequel.
You fall down the bottomless pit, and then no, you survived somehow after getting cut in half.
I mean, I thought Dooku was. I thought he was threatening because he did cut off young Anakin's hand, and he did have a fight with Yoda that actually none of them could defeat each other. So that kind of proves how good Dooku was.
Well,
but then in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin destroys him because he's at the peak of his career.
Pretty much,
basically.
I guess.
So
I guess.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It just feels okay. So when we have Darth Maul fight, it's against Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Yeah, he's
and we
going
know,
against two.
We know
so.
Obi-Wan is gonna. Well, but so did Dooku. He fought Obi-Wan and Anakin. So it's 2-on-1 still. But the thing that the downside narratively to Dooku was that he went against everyone we know lived. And so we know Anakin and Obi-Wan are going to live in his first fight. Yoda shows up. We know Yoda's going to live. They fight again later. There's Palpatine and Obi-Wan and Anakin there. Everyone that he's around.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
We know. So the tension is a little bit lower because we know in the back of our mind, we know how it's going to turn out in the end.
Sure, but I can get over that. Just like I can watch the whole prequels knowing that Anakin's going to be Darth Vader.
Right, I know.
That doesn't take anything away from it, I think. I think it just, you know.
I get what you're saying on the non-threatening.
It's not as threatening because we know it's going to
happen.
Sure,
yes,
right.
I get that.
But
definitely.
I think that goes to like movie making and just telling a story that you may know, but in the moment when you're watching it, you're not even thinking about that.
I guess
I know
I do.
I'm not. When I'm in the moment and I'm absorbing the story, I'm not even like. I guess when I like zoom out and I think of myself watching the movie, like, yeah, I know that Obi-Wan's not gonna die.
Yeah.
And that
It's
but like in the moment, like you still think like and that's the thing about just diving into a movie and just letting it go, and being able to just see what's in front of you.
I think Dooku being so powerful, fighting against Yoda, and then Anakin easily taking him out, it just displayed how powerful Anakin was, and it was a good display of what he can do.
But which is weird because Yoda's
it's a good hype up for Anakin to get him to the next level.
But let's do the sports analogy. Like this team beat this team, which then lost to this team, right? So Yoda held up against Palpatine, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But I guess he lost to Palpatine.
He sort of did, but he threw the thing. Yeah. He threw the thing back at him, though, right? I think actually who comes off the weakest in all this is Obi-Wan somehow he beat Anakin, right? But he got his ass kicked.
He taught him. That's the only way he beat him. Is
the only person he ever
taught
loses.
him everything he knew.
That's
the only reason he beat him.
Actually, the only person Obi-Wan ever loses to is Dooku. That's like the one guy. He loses to him twice, but everyone else he beats.
That's good.
But then who beat Dooku?
Right, yeah, Anakin.
But
then Obi-Wan beats Anakin.
Right, because that's why they have
different style formats. It's different fighting techniques.
Yeah.
It's Dooku doesn't know Anakin's fighting techniques. Obi-Wan knows every single thing.
Well, and especially
Anakin does.
Yeah. Dooku specialized in I think it was Form 2. It's Makashi. It's like really antiquated. Nobody uses it anymore because it was the lightsaber versus lightsaber style from forever ago when you had the Sith and the Jedi fighting. They came up with
my powers have doubled since the last time we've met, Duke.
So he's like
that. You love that line.
So Dooku in particular is like really good at getting in lightsaber fights. That's like what he's specialized in.
Yeah, he's a duelist. I picture his form as like he's like fencing.
Yes, he's a duelist for sure. That's what he is. And so he wins in the first fight. But when it comes to the second fight with Obi-Wan by that point is possibly the best. I think it's Ceresu. He's it's the defensive form, and he's possibly the best defensive form user ever.
No limbs cut off. No limbs cut off. One of the only Jedis to ever.
Okay.
Have
by the time of Revenge of the Sith comes around, he's possibly that. And so Dooku does not get in a lightsaber fight with him. I don't know if you noticed. He kind of backs off, picks him up with the Force, and deals with him that way. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pick you up because I'm not going to fight you because he got too good. And so he's like, I'm just going to, and you know what? It worked on Obi-Wan. He still beat him.
Yeah.
But by that point, he's like, I'm not going to do this. You've gotten too good. You're too defensive for me to try to get through. So I'm going to bypass your lightsaber fighting style.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think he comes across, Obi-Wan comes across as one of the best in the sense that he lost to someone who specialized, Yoda's apprentice in particular, who specialized in lightsaber fighting, and then may not have lost a second lightsaber fight even with that, because he was so good defensively. But
yeah, I think Obi-Wan's just overall one of the smartest Jedis when it comes to
I will say this.
arts.
Obi-Wan could
or just surviving a fight. He
knows survive a fight, but
to do.
He didn't beat Grievous with a lightsaber.
But he also defended all those other lightsabers he had going at him.
Yeah,
constantly.
4 lightsabers.
He couldn't even cut Darth Maul in half and kill him.
With several lightsabers going at him, which is pretty impressive.
How many people does Obi-Wan kill with a lightsaber? 0. Darth Maul lives. Does not kill Grievous with a lightsaber. Anakin lives. He's obviously not very good with the lightsaber.
That's what I'm saying.
Folks. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He just knows what to do. He's very intelligent.
But Darth Maul killed Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
And then in Rebels, actually, Obi-Wan does end up... Spoilers. Obi-Wan does end up killing Darth Maul in Rebels.
Again?
Yeah.
Again, for sure.
We don't know that for sure.
For sure.
He could have survived.
But I just don't...
Obi-Wan also killed Darth Maul episode 1 from anger. I think he released the anger.
Yeah, he snapped.
Well, that's
actually...
he lost that fight. He had to find his calm and cool again before he could kill him.
Right.
When he was hanging, he had to calm down, focus himself, and that's
why he's hanging.
He did do really well when he was angry. Cut his lightsaber in half and pushed Darth Maul around. But yeah.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to go to questions, or do you guys have anything else you guys specifically want to talk about?
Sure, Dan. Where does what number ship is the Falcon for you?
Oh yeah.
Millennium Falcon is my favorite ship. You guys are way more knowledgeable of all the other ships. I love the Millennium Falcon.
Me too.
I mean,
Do you?
you guys know ins and outs about the ships.
I can't wait for
mean,
it to blow up.
X-Wing, yeah, that's up there for me. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, Dan. Are you okay if the Millennium Falcon blows up in the Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, that would really hurt.
Would it seem unnecessary? I think it would be very unnecessary.
I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it as much as I'd like creepy. I wouldn't like Creepio dying and the Millennium Falcon. It's like the same boat for me.
Yeah.
Because they're iconic pieces of Star Wars. So them going down would be huge, big.
Yeah, I think they're iconic.
I mean, it depends on how they go down. You know.
No, yeah, I totally agree. But I think
to be honest, I'd rather Creepio go down than the Millennium Falcon. That's just me.
Okay.
That's just me.
Yes. All right. Who would you rather have destroyed, R2-D2 or the Millennium Falcon in the Rise of Skywalker?
Millennium Falcon. I want R2-D2 to live any day of the week.
James.
He's gonna go over a lot of characters.
James, there's two people who are going to destroy the last thing they need to blow up in the Rise of Skywalker, and either R2-D2 can do it and he's going to die, or the Millennium Falcon's going to do it and it's going to blow up.
Right.
Who do you want to blow up or die because you're?
I would narratively, I'd sacrifice R2 before the Falcon.
I knew you were gonna say that.
But there's a reason for that.
But he shoots a lightsaber back to Rey as he dies, and she does a backflip off a diving board.
But there's a reason for that.
Okay.
R2 is, he is iconic character that's been around through the saga, and the saga is ending. So I think there's a feeling of closure if he doesn't make it that you may not get with the Falcon. The Falcon's been around for half the movies, or a little over now. But if you have the Falcon at the end, if you have something like R2 sacrifices himself, dies, and whatever, and is gone, but the Falcon passed on to the new generation or something, or somebody else, maybe Lando has it by the end, and he lives, and he gives it to his son, and who knows where it's going from there,
nice.
or his daughter,
That'd be cool.
whatever, Who knows where it's going from there, and he just leaves that possibility open. And that's nice for the Star Wars universe. You got the closure on R2 side, and that's because you're making me choose between those two.
Okay,
James,
no, I understand.
James, Creepio or R2-D2 death? Who do you who are you picking?
God,
I let
Thelma and Louise off the cliff together.
I sacrifice R2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because do you think that's
Wow.
because that would hit harder narratively to a lot of more people?
Okay.
Because I think a lot more people think R2-D2
I'm
is
surprised
cute.
by that.
I think to a degree, yes, but also because I think 3PO living is going to be more bittersweet than just R2 living, because he's a lot more aimless without.
He can actually speak words.
He's also a lot like R2 does not need C3PO to do his thing. 3PO needs R2, and so now when he's out there, R2's sacrifice means more because you feel that absence when you see 3PO live.
That's a good point.
You feel there's something missing, and well, that droid just sacrificed himself, and there's a literal effect on another character. Whereas if R2 is live, he might make a little like whine noise when he hears about 3PO being gone, but it's not going to hit as hard as the other way around.
And I feel like 3PO would be a harder character to replace because it's a skinny English guy that plays the part perfectly. And R2-D2 can be obviously replaced easily.
Sure.
'Cause
Yeah,
a
the
bunch
voice
of
would be a lot.
beep, beep, bop, boop. Yeah,
Let me ask you this. What if they didn't kill R2, right? What if they didn't kill R2 and he finally got his memory wiped?
Yeah, that's I brought up before. I think that would be fine too.
So it kind of leaves like he doesn't
Right.
explode, and maybe down the road when they do
Who knows?
episode 10, like 10 years down the road, like he could come back. But at the time,
Or-
like he has to plug into something, right? In the Death Star that's down. And in order for him to get the information that they need to win the last fight, he's gonna get the information for him, but it's gonna wipe his memory.
Yeah, because
And he knowingly makes that decision to do it.
Dude. But R2-D2 lives.
You're
right,
making me cry right now, man. God
But,
damn.
But yeah. So I mean that also it has that Falcon feel at the end where you see it at the end. You're like, there's still that feeling of hope or exploration or something. R2 is still out there, and is he the same deep down kind of thing? But he doesn't have his memories. Is he going to shape up to be a different droid when he gets different experiences? Who knows, kind of thing. So
absolutely not. He'd be the same droid. He'd be such a good man.
He comes back.
Droid.
He's just
same droid from
He's
Naboo.
just a drunk.
Yeah. What if Leia? We were talking about like if I said maybe New Alderaan or something. She like what if she just winds up on just her and Chewie and a memory wiped R2-D2 who just all go back to Naboo and retire there.
What? And there's peace in the galaxy or something?
For now.
I don't know. Well, we have to imagine that they're obviously going to end the Rise of Skywalker on a good note, right? It's not. I mean,
I would imagine.
Well,
I would imagine if not good, bittersweet.
We all hope so.
yeah. So
Can you imagine if they
It's
didn't?
just
Emperor has won. End of movie.
You'll make another movie within 4 years, and everybody will be like, "All right, fine."
oh my god, that'd be so brutal, man. They won't do that. But,
No, they won't.
Can
you? And then all the kids in theater are like, what just happened?
yeah, you know that character you like, dead,
Yeah.
gone forever.
You guys thought we were going to do
Everyone dies.
You guys thought we were going to do a Return of the Jedi again? We did
Kylo
Revenge of the
wins.
Sith.
Everyone dies.
We did a Revenge of the Sith. Emperor
R2
wins.
becomes the new apprentice to Palpatine, who's come back.
Or R2 and Creepio just
Rule the galaxy.
explode, and they're dead.
No, they
Moving on.
They end up becoming the new two baddies and rule the fucking galaxy and take over everything.
No, it's probably going to be on a good note, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we should go into these questions because I got
absolutely cool.
We have this our one
Let's
listener.
do 'em.
Our one listener, Joe. Thank you for submitting questions in again. We will take these, and they're not as ridiculous as last time.
Okay.
They're-
No
not
tombstone.
that- not-
no
not-
tombstone pile
hold on,
drivers.
hold
okay.
on. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about wrestling moves in Star Wars. Okay. Sorry, Joe. Not all your questions were ridiculous, but he's got.
I like the tombstone
He's got.
question. Actually,
He'd kick out.
Chewie did something similar in Solo.
Yes, he did.
yes, he did.
He.
There you
Absolutely.
Okay, the first one here is, and I don't think anybody has the answer to this one, but I'll ask it anyways.
Really?
Who was the first Jedi? The reason I like this question actually is because I think this is what they might explore in either the
It was
Benioff
Rey.
and Weiss, Ryan Johnson's, or the Knights of the Old Republic movies. I think this is something that they should dive into. Why not? I think this is rich territory.
I mean, only one of those trilogies is going to get made, but also,
That's not true.
we'll see. We'll see.
A descendant of Skywalker is all I could say. I don't know.
No. I don't think it has to be connected. But don't you want to see how this Jedi and Sith kind of came about? I think
No.
that's rich territory. Why
It
not?
is. It is.
I mean,
why
you may not.
Why not?
Personally,
it's the same,
but I'm just.
it's this. No, I think it's rich territory. Could be done really well. I just don't trust them to do it really well. I think it'll be simplified in a.
Would you trust George Lucas to do it really well?
Not now.
Okay, yeah. So
leave it to our imagination. They came from somewhere,
Fair
and
enough.
that's like it's like hearing about the Kessel Run or anything else. You're like, this is really good, but once you
Yes.
find out the details, it may not be that good
I
anymore.
get it. There's explaining things too much where it can
Yeah.
damage your imagination when
You
it comes
kind
to
of give a
things.
force vision in one of the movies to somebody who sees something from when the first person came about, and you give a 2-minute clip, and that feeds our imagination still. But I don't want to see like a whole movie on it or a trilogy.
Okay. So we have to agree that there are going to be new movies being made, right?
Yeah,
All right. Well, what do they do them on?
I mean almost anything.
Okay. Well, if you had to pick, what would your next trilogy of movies be?
Where would I like set it and be about? That's a tough one. Maybe either between episodes 3 and 4, the Rise of the Empire, taking over stuff, that sort of stuff. Maybe rebellion stuff that before they're like coalesced into the Rebel Alliance, just some individual rebellion stuff, or something between 6 and 7. Like we see in The Mandalorian, a little bit between the fall of the Empire and whatever else.
Which they could do. I think that's what they're leaning. Well, I think that The Mandalorian is that.
Right.
And I think they're going to go back in time. They're going to go back thousands of years in at least one of these series of movies, whether it's the Game of Thrones dudes or Ryan Johnson or the other one, the Knights of the Old Republic that they were talking about. Those are three different things that have been floated out there. 2 of them are confirmed. Confirmed, but Benioff and Weiss is for sure doing movies. Game of Thrones guys are doing movies. So why wouldn't if you go back that far in time, you're not locked into certain things. Like you're free to.
Yeah,
so this is the thing.
I think a lot of people would like it too. I don't think I would. Or I don't think I like that time period as much.
Right.
But I think a lot of people would. So I don't think it's a bad call for them to do.
Right. But who do you think? Do you think they're going to cater to a fan? A fan that's like you that's gonna.
No, you shouldn't just cater to necessarily what I want. That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people might like an Old Republic style thing.
Like for the new series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
for
talking
the,
about.
for the next movies that are coming out in the theater.
They're gonna do future episodes. They're gonna do episode 10. They're gonna do the future after episode.
So they
what
have-
we're about to see.
I think they have
that's
some-
what they're gonna do.
I think they have someone
agree.
announced for 2022
They're not
and
gonna.
stuff
They're
already.
not gonna backtrack. I don't
So-
see them backtracking.
I don't know. I think like the
Well,
next
not for episode 10. They're not doing episode 10 in 2022.
but
that's
they are
not
coming
what
out
it
with
is.
the movie in December
The
2022.
movies are coming out, but as far as you know, the episodes are done. The episodic films are done
Yeah, right.
after this.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
right, for 10 years. But at least the next 3 movies that they planned out for 2022, 24, and 26
Yeah,
that are coming out in the theater, they're not
episode 10.
They're not episode 10, 11, and 12. They're just a totally new thing. But they are
Yeah,
an
so it's going to be
episodic-
spin-offs of some sort.
Yeah,
right?
and actually, this is a question I like asking people. Is
So they're just
that
going to do more spin-offs. That's all
well,
they're
this
going to do.
this and this
They can
goes
do this
to
all
that.
day.
Is the only way to push the timeline forward in Star Wars is in the episodic Skywalker franchises. Like, there's no other way to go forward. So we get to 9, right? It's a line. Boom. We're here in the timeline, and now everything else we're gonna do is gonna fill in the backstory of what we wish. No one's gonna push it forward.
I hope that's not
Unless
the case.
I hope it's not the case either. I'm actually totally with you. I hope they don't do that. I hope that it can go forward
Right.
without the episodic
Right.
films taking it there.
I agree.
But also, if you have the ability and all this money to make all these different franchises or series at once, movies, TV shows, animated, that you can, while pushing it forward, go back. Because I think this is what they're going to do. They're gonna fill everybody's palette. So there's going to be something for everybody, right? Like, there's going to be stuff that pushes it forward. There's going to be all the fans that like the Knights of the Old Republic type stuff. They're going to fill them, right? And then they're going to go back and they're going to do a Cassian Andor series, which gives the people who love the original trilogy, the Rebels versus the Empire, type stuff. They're going to give them their fill, right? They're going to give the bounty hunter people their fill.
We'll see what they do. I don't know.
Yeah. And listen, I'm open.
Yeah,
I'm open to it.
that's what I said. That's why when you asked, I said almost anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's go. Let's move on. Next one. I'm pretty sure this has been. It goes. How many characters' hands have been cut off?
And there's silence. Everyone stops to count.
Well, I would
Do
say
we count
2.
arms?
I don't know. I think we could
Or
rephrase
3. I would say 3 because Vader's hands were cut
Well,
off twice.
And Dooku.
Well, that's one. We're
Dooku's-
counting character, not hands, right?
Okay.
Dooku got
so-
both his hands cut off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, are we counting arms? We count the wampa.
Well, let me rephrase this question. How many limbs have been cut off?
How many limbs?
What?
How many characters?
Okay, Grievous. That's like 4.
Did
Right
he didn't?
there.
But he. Oh yeah. Did he get?
He had multiple
Well,
hands cut off by
That's right.
Obi-Wan.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then Dooku got 2. Anakin got 1. Luke got 1. The
Anakin
dude in
had
the
2.
cantina got his arm cut off.
Yeah, Ponda Baba. And do you count the wampa?
Yes,
Luke?
of course.
Luke?
Of course.
Okay.
Luke, yeah, I said yeah. And
Vader?
Vader got 1 and 2 legs.
Well, and then
And then another hand when he was robotic.
Was that the same? Was that the?
Yeah,
good,
'cause
that was the bad hand though. That was the one they already had cut off.
yeah.
His
So
good
he had
hand.
the
He still
same
had one
hand
hand
cut off twice.
Yeah,
The
he had
same
one-
hand cut off twice, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you saw the mechanical bits.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, awesome.
No, he yeah.
Uh,
I think he lost all of his hands because
Yeah.
he loses a hand. He loses a hand in episode 2. To
oh,
Dooku.
you're right. No, you're
And then he
right.
gets his
You're
other
right.
hand
You're
cut
right.
off
No,
in-
you're right.
in episode
You're
3.
right. You're right. Because the one
Unfortunately,
that's
yeah.
he's crawling up from Mustafar
It's
is
his
the
mechanical
metal
hand.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right.
But
Fair enough.
That's 2, like 4 for Grievous. That's 6.
All right.
Is it 4
No,
for Grievous?
Grievous lost 2 and then ran.
That's only 2.
yeah.
He lost 2 hands and then ran. He had 4 hands going. He lost 2 and then took
okay.
off because
Yeah,
he's like, you know what, losing this fight.
Yeah.
to
I'm
Obi-Wan.
thinking like spider legs right now.
Yeah.
And we're probably missing
All right.
something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Are we counting heads? Because Yoda just beheads 2 guys on Kashyyyk.
That's true. He does.
Yoda just jumps up.
And
2 of
then
those clone
and then they
troopers
just fall. Yeah.
just cuts off their head. Dooku's head. I don't know if you're counting that.
That's a limb.
What about Mace Windu? You got him?
Yeah, he
got his hand cut off.
He did.
Before he got flung out a window.
I'm thinking like a solid 8.
Yeah, at least 8 to 10.
Yeah.
At least. Have we seen a limb lost in the sequel trilogy?
No.
I mean, one of the
Praetorian Guards?
loses his head, I think. I'm pretty sure Kylo cuts one of their heads off.
Okay.
It's kind of a passing shot, but I'm pretty sure that happens.
Right. Do you think that's a trope that they might go back to, like that someone's gonna lose? You think someone's gonna lose a limb in Rise of Skywalker?
No idea.
I think so. Since it hasn't happened yet, I'm actually surprised that there hasn't been limbs cut off yet in any of the new ones.
Kylo loses one.
Or Rey. I could see Rey losing a limb easily.
Yeah.
Why not?
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to speculate about the Rise of Skywalker because I have no idea what's going on with that movie. But
yes.
Okay.
As we all have.
Hey,
no idea.
this will be a quick question.
Thank you, JJ.
We'll just go around and we'll just say yes or no. Did Han shoot first? Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
glad we settled that.
That's very important.
Yeah, we settled that. How tall are stormtroopers? If Luke was a little short, what was the average height?
6 foot.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Oh,
I don't know.
You said that really. I was like, really? You know that?
The actual average of American man, I'm going to say 5'10".
Okay.
Tall enough to hit your head on the door.
Dude, I was going to say that guy was just a little too tall. He was like, all right, we'll take the dude who's 6'1", and they're like, dude, this is why we don't take him because our doors don't open tall enough. And
he was probably, people don't talk about it, he was also probably an imposter in a stormtrooper outfit, just like the rest of them. He's too tall.
How cool would that be if they made that? They obviously they're not going to make like a video or a TV show, but what if they made a video game spinoff where that guy was like an infiltrated?
You are that guy.
You are that guy.
They don't even mention it at one point. It's a cutscene. You hit your head on something. You're like,
You're in the Death Star.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And this is another one. How did Maz Kanata get Luke's lightsaber?
That's a story for another time.
That's a story for another time, and I don't think I think there's just too much to do in the Rise of Skywalker to do that. That will be book comic material.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean it comes back. That saber came back in this trilogy, right? And it comes back in the Thrawn books, the original ones that like a lot of people love.
Yeah.
So even in old legends and stuff, the Anakin's lightsaber with actually in the Thrawn books it was with Luke's hand. That was important because they cloned him.
Yeah.
Then it comes back in this. I don't know. Somehow it fell in Cloud City and they got it. And both in the old books, which people liked, and in the new canon, which people liked. So we'll see. I don't know how Maz Kanata got it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has any real good guess.
Are they even going to answer that story?
That's what
I don't think they will.
They're going to spend. You think they're going to spend time on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's already going to be a fully packed movie.
Because who effing knows at that point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe,
what
if
that
they
was a complete mystery.
What if they say there used to be they just say passing used to be an admiral named Thrawn, and we found it in like his stores after he disappeared one day. Oh, and who knows how Thrawn got it, but they found it there.
No, but that would be cool because actually Thrawn loves collecting things to know his enemies, and like that somehow that's
and
how.
It's true. It's also
he studies his enemies.
He studies that stuff.
You're right.
It's also a throwback to his books where they came in during the Thrawn trilogy.
Can I just go back to you? Is that too deep of a cut now? Now we're talking Darth Maul is back in a movie. Even though it makes sense in the title, and now it's going to be too deep of a cut for some people.
I guess it depends on how you handle it, yeah. I would say if you do it in passing, it's not as bad, but, Maul was kind of in passing, too, and it still made me feel...
Yeah, and he just looks
cool.
It's cool to have things that look cool in movies. I've said that before on the show.
Yeah, that's why we got to get
times.
Thrawn.
That'd be so cool to have Thrawn in the movies. I wish we could incorporate that.
He looks cool.
Yeah.
Blue skin, red eyes, jet black hair.
or just his race in general.
Basically
the chiss,
Nightcrawler, but
in Star Wars,
but doesn't teleport.
Right.
Not
right.
that we
Very
know of.
intelligent.
This next one, I think we kind of know this, but it's Who Are the Knights of Ren? And they say this in the movies. He said Luke. They say Ben took a group of his students. That were at the temple and
half of them,
and destroyed it.
I don't
So-
know if they explicitly say they're the Knights of Ren because I don't think they mentioned the name.
Yeah, it's implied.
But it is implied
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, well let me kind of ask a different question on that. But like, do you guys expect anything from the Knights of Ren?
Again, my expectations for this movie
I don't
are
have any
pretty much
expectations
none.
either.
Yeah.
Obviously they are in the movie because I think they've said that in the Vanity Fair articles, and I think you see them kind of in the trailer, or we infer that it's them in the trailer. Did you have any thoughts on the Knights of Ren, Dan?
Knights of Ren, it's such a question mark of who those people are. Like, who are the disciples of Kylo? And
yeah, are they Jedi? Were they
like,
always trying to be Jedi?
Are these people Sith? Are they good?
Why'd they follow Kylo?
Who are they? Yeah, exactly. What's their background? It's a lot of questions with the Knights of Ren. I hope we can figure that out.
Yeah.
For the new movie.
Well, definitely, if they're in the new movie, I would imagine
because it's such a question mark. And how many Knights of Ren are there?
Yeah. Well, because
One.
I'm assuming,
Incorrect.
and I'm assuming the
There has
Knights
to
of
be
Ren are
2 or 3.
Well, I'm assuming the Knights of Ren are in Rey's vision when she touches the lightsaber, right?
Yeah. So
Then
there's-
Maz
I mean,
Kanata's
yeah.
saying,
there's like
you see him?
5, right, or 4.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them behind. I'm assuming that's
I'm
the
telling
Knights
you,
of Ren.
I'm telling you, if it was Kylo going undercover, he takes half the students with him. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't. That's a cool. You can make a Legends book about that, James. About Kylo succumbing on purpose to really be the good
It's
person.
just echoing those old Dark Horse comics where Luke has to like go to the dark side to get close to the Emperor's clone to try to kill him, and now you have something similar kind of set up. I can see it.
Yeah,
I don't expect it.
That's
I don't
a
expect
cool
it,
idea, but I don't think they've set that up.
I think they set it up, but I don't think they're gonna follow through.
Well, I don't think they purposely set it up. I think you can go back and kind of make the connections of the dots, like connections, and like say like, oh yeah, now you could make it work with all that. But I don't think I don't think the Knights of Ren are going to be anything too important.
I don't either.
I think they're gonna be there to look cool, which is fine. They don't make or break the movie for me at all, whatsoever.
Yeah, hopefully they're a little better than they're a little more important or better or cooler looking or whatever than the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah.
They were okay. They looked pretty cool until I thought their fight was over choreographed. Maybe it was because maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just because like I'm not used to the slow motion during fights that had. That's usually not part of Star Wars.
Well, I think that was just at the beginning, though, wasn't it? When they went slow mo. It was just.
I haven't seen it in a while, so maybe,
no, I'm pretty sure it's just slow mo when, she grabs the lightsaber after Kylo pulls it through Snoke. She grabs it.
It felt
she
like
stands up. They look at each other, and then they look at each other, and they have like that eye contact, and then they turn around, and then it slows mo's, and then it like just goes boom, and it goes back into it.
okay,
And then there's no slow mo after that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
But I felt it was a little over choreographed. I felt like that during the Maul fight too, right where Obi-Wan starts going off, and then you have that little bit of a ballerina like dance away kind of thing.
Okay.
But
dude, over choreographed is fine, dude. The whole battle at Mustafar with Obi-Wan and Anakin is over choreographed. I mean, it's
Right.
over the top, which
Yeah.
is fine. It's not a bad thing. It's not a knock.
well, I mean it as a little bit of a knock, but
Wait, what's a knock?
The battle at Mustafar was
so
over choreographed.
the worst Star Wars fight in the whole series.
You're kidding.
I'm just trying to.
You're absolutely lying right
I'm
now.
just trying to trigger Dan right now.
It almost worked. He almost lost his shit.
Whoa!
You guys just balled up his hand into a fist.
Okay.
I'm not a violent person.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't
this
do
is
that.
perfect timing.
But-
Okay, this
Mustafar.
This kind of like goes back into the same, kind of same discussion. What is Rey's biggest weakness in battle and as a character? I don't know if you want to go around. I kind of have a thought on this.
So for me, biggest weakness in battle, I think probably no real idea of like a bigger picture of what's going on in kind of a battle. She's just kind of in the moment, which is good for her. It's served her pretty well while fighting, but I think she's probably not very tactical during the fight in terms of she's just surviving and winning whatever's happening right now. But I think that might be her biggest weakness if she goes up against somebody who's willing to sacrifice a few pawns here and there.
Sure.
But I don't think that's a knock against the character. I mean, everyone has a weakness in battle. I'm just trying to... and I think biggest weakness as a character might still be kind of a little bit of aimlessness. I'm not really sure what her goal is by the end of The Last Jedi. I think it's implied since she stole the books that she's interested in that.
That she's going to train.
Yeah, but I'm not 100%. So that, again, it's not too much of a knock because at least they have an implication of where she's headed. But I don't know. I think that might be... If I had to pick two, I really like her character though.
Yeah.
So,
I think her weakness is her inability. She's so new as a
she's
Jedi.
raw.
She's
as they would
completely
say.
new, and I just don't think she knows every aspect of what she needs to know for the Force. She's completely new. She learned when she was in her 20s.
Yeah,
I
think she's like
or high teens or whatever.
Yeah,
and that's like
I think it's
that's
20s.
the oldest person to become a Jedi in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
so I think that's what her biggest weakness is, and just not knowing what she's capable of.
Sure.
That's
her biggest weakness. Okay, that's what the question. The biggest weakness as a character, and what is her biggest weakness when it comes to just a fight. So, I think you answered what I think you kind of answered it both with the same answer, which I totally agree with.
I think she obviously has the biggest raw skill for any other Jedi because she can beat Kylo. After he's had years of training, she can already beat him in The Force Awakens, which is crazy. But
do you think Kylo's actually trying to beat her? He's actually trying to turn her.
That fight, I think he was holding back a tiny bit.
He stopped and said, "I can
think
teach you. You need a teacher."
yeah, I think
He also didn't want to. I think in the back of his mind, he doesn't want to actually kill her.
Just like he didn't want to kill his mom. Kylo has these parts where he does pull himself back, and so I can believe that Kylo didn't actually want to actually kill
undercover Kylo doesn't want to kill anyone.
her. Yeah, that's wow. Okay. Fair. Okay.
He only wants to kill Han Solo.
He didn't want to do that,
No, I guess he didn't, but he did.
but he did. That's true.
Bastard.
No, I don't think he wanted to, but he felt like he needed
Actually,
to.
I don't know. Han Solo's dead.
That's a whole different discussion of.
Han Solo might be alive. I want to say Maul survived.
Emperor's coming back. Just because you fall down a chasm in Star Wars does not mean you're dead.
And then the planet explodes or whatever.
Harrison Ford would not allow his character to
I have 100 million reasons why he would come back.
Come back in the next animated.
You're gonna do an animated voice.
Okay. Maul had it worse. Cut in half, bottomless pit. He only got stabbed, bottomless pit.
Yeah,
See,
right.
so.
Okay, so I'll say for Rey's biggest weakness in battle for me is that she fights like she's not using a lightsaber, but she is. Like she's a very scrappy fighter with the lightsaber, and I feel like she's not using it to her full potential, which I think people think she's Mary Sue, and we talked about this. Like she's like, just like Dan said, like she's.
What's a Mary Sue? Can you guys clarify that
Sure.
for me?
It's generally speaking somebody who has no real like moral faults or flaws, and generally speaking, no real skill faults or flaws. So basically, even if she's brand new, she's always morally in the right, even if everyone disagrees with her and she's going against that, and she never really fails at what she's doing. That's generally speaking how people see Mary Sue's
Okay.
Um,
All right. I was just unclear
Yeah,
on the
no,
Mary
that's
Sue's.
When we talked about it, I think we both agree that we both don't see her that way. But
No. Yeah, it's just she can do no wrong. She always wins.
But
She
I'm telling
always
you,
does
if they
the
flip
best
it,
thing.
if she's already beaten Kylo in 2 confrontations,
Is Kylo actually trying 100% though?
if he, I don't see that.
That's what I'm saying.
If they flip it and he's good in the last one and she goes evil or something like that.
Kylo just keeps losing. That's what he does.
Okay, but if she was all powerful, like everybody says she's Mary Sue, she would have just defeated Snoke. And I don't think she obviously when she swings with a lightsaber, she does. That's why I don't think that she is this all powerful thing that people. I mean, she's going to be, but that's not where she's at yet.
She's swinging with a lot of anger and aggression.
Sure,
I feel like that's a little towards the dark side, people.
Sure,
I'm
but I
saying
think
they
she's
set it up.
She's untrained. She's untrained.
They set it up.
She's untrained.
Shit!
When she does that, when she gets kicked back by the Praetorian Guard and she swings and she's just going rah, and she's just lashing the saber out at people or at the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah.
And there's no real rhyme or reason to it. I think that's her biggest weakness in battle is that she battles like she's not trained.
I mean, I don't know if it's a weakness in that sense.
Well, it is a weakness if you have that weapon and you could be better.
Well, I don't know if that makes her bad or whatever. I mean, when
In that fight, it's a weakness.
you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she could have just.
I mean, I guess if I had to pick her fighting style, because I'm thinking of like Luke when in Return of the Jedi when he's going against Vader and he cuts Vader's hand off and he's just swinging wildly. That's when he beats Vader. But Vader,
but he's connecting.
And Vader's holding back. But I'm just mean like he's just swinging wildly.
But Luke's actually hitting him. When Rey does the little wild swing, she's swinging at air and just missing.
Yeah. But also, if I had to take Luke's fighting style or say like Obi-Wan's very trained defensive style or something like that, I would take Obi-Wan's. So I think training does make a big difference. When I was thinking
absolutely.
About it. Yeah.
No limbs cut off.
Okay.
Ever. That's huge.
It's only him and Yoda. That's it.
Rey's about to have a limb cut off.
Okay,
I
fair enough. So I think that's where her.
Another
that's
discussion.
Which actually kind of like that's a great question. I love this question, but I think her biggest weakness as a character, obviously, is that she's too good. She's too heartfelt. She wants to save Kylo, which is, I think, not biggest weakness to her in the story. Not like when I watch her, like that's a good character.
Yeah.
For her to have is to want to be good and do that. Like that's good. But in the moment, it's obviously not serving her very well. Like she's getting taken advantage of.
She's too forgiving or
she's too forgiving.
optimistic.
She's trying too much. Like she's like,
she has too much hope
for
Kylo.
In a sense,
that's
yeah,
just
it's weird, kind of like talking it out and saying it out loud. Like, but it's good that she did have that sort of happiness because then she goes back to find Luke, which it ends up working out because she ends up saving the last, regardless of what you thought of the Last Jedi. Good Lord, we almost went a whole podcast without talking about it too much, but she did, because of that character flaw of her always wanting to give people the benefit of the doubt, tries to give Kylo the benefit of the doubt, tries to give Luke the benefit of the doubt, right? But it was detrimental to her in the moment, right? And I think that's one of her the biggest character flaw.
Yeah, that's a good point. That she has too much hope for the people that.
Right, I think
she shouldn't have hope.
Overall, it's good because it will work out because that's it's Star Wars.
She's getting a limb cut
built
off.
on hope.
Yeah,
okay.
basically. Yeah.
I mean, what limb, left or right hand?
I'm gonna say her offhand, which means the hand that she doesn't usually use a saber with. I think she'll get that cut off.
Right. Okay.
I think I don't think her maybe the flaw, but I think it really only applies to Kylo. As far as the flaw you described, I don't think she has too much hope for most people. I think it's only people that she sees as good. Like she hopes something good for Han Solo and he'll help out. She hopes something good for Luke because he was a good guy or whatever. But when she first, with her Force connection to, when she first starts talking to Kylo, she's calling him a snake. She doesn't like him at all. Like she doesn't have that hope that he'll turn. It's only after they get a little bit of a connection going where she hopes that she sees him more. Like when she's blowing up 3 TIE fighters with one shot or whatever, she's not like stopping to like pause. Maybe I can communicate with these people and turn them. No, it's just she's fighting these bad guys, and I think that would be what Kylo is to her. That's what it was in their first duel. But it's only after they get that connection. So I think she's mostly only optimistic towards like good people, and Kylo's kind of an exception for whatever reason they had that Force connection. But
Yeah, because she
which
still
might be a flaw
always
still.
tries to make a connection towards Kylo, even though he's done like horrible things, and she still wants
Well,
him
she
to,
didn't make the connections.
to join.
Right, yeah, I know. But they have that Force connection, and then she sees him more as another person instead of just like this evil masked.
But is that all
guys.
part of the plan, though?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
See, that's crazy. That's how they could get to.
JJ about to blow it up.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I want JJ back. I got him.
You got him, Dan. Congratulations.
I got him.
Does anyone have anything else to add? We're right about.
Where are we at?
we're
Where are we
right
at?
about
Where are
time.
we at?
We're an hour in. Unless anybody has anything else they really want to add. Any predictions? Anything?
Should the cartoons have done this? Should Star Wars introduce Star Wars cats?
They already have.
I said in the cartoon, but in the movies now,
In the movie, could I be down with seeing a loft cat
or something along those lines. Yeah.
in Star Wars? You're asking a guy with 2 cats if he'd like
Yeah.
to see cats in Star Wars. The answer is hell yeah.
What
Bring
about-
him in.
No, I'm for dogs.
You're not allergic to him
In space. I'm not allergic.
Yeah.
to cats.
So it's
Well, in that case,
Solo
I'll
had-
take dogs anyways.
Solo had those
Solo's had dogs.
dog lizard things or whatever they were. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's already
Time for
bears.
cats, right?
Yeah, I think there's. I'm all for more animals in Star Wars, like just more animals.
No way. I don't see that.
What was that guy? Return of the Jedi. It has that little shot right outside Jabba's palace, and you have that guy like sitting out of a hole in the ground. That lizard-looking guy.
Yeah, he's like a little
Uses his tongue,
toad
Yeah.
frog thing.
Like
Oh
some
yeah, the
sort of-
guy.
Wait,
Just the long tongue. Just
Yeah.
he was added in?
that was added in.
That was special
added in.
edition
I think
stuff,
so,
though.
yeah.
That,
That was
I don't
added
think that
in.
existed
No,
before
it was really
then.
just a shot, and
Yeah.
then special
Yeah,
edition
yeah.
added that guy in.
Which then
That was definitely an add-in that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Doesn't
too.
take anything
I enjoyed
away.
that too.
Doesn't take anything away.
No.
Actually, as far as if you think about the special editions, I know it's kind of hard to pull from the memory bank like right
Yeah.
now, but I think everything they added in to Empire Strikes Back in the special editions works flawlessly.
Interesting.
Obviously the canteen, adding the stormtrooper, people riding the dewback or whatever, and it didn't fit.
Do back.
So maybe one of the last things. This is a question I'm actually curious about, and it's kind of serious. What is the worst thing that got added in the special editions of the original movies?
Oh, this is so easy. This is easy for me.
What is it?
Return of the Jedi when
The
lady
music
sings
scene?
when lady sings a Jabba's
Yeah.
Palace.
What is that?
Yeah.
We don't need that. We don't need that. I completely agree.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind. But I would choose that second.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's the first?
Hold on, let me guess.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, guess.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
that was.
Please
second
get
for me.
this
That's-
right.
That's the first thing that came
Please
to
get
my
it
mind.
right.
Can I? I'm gonna. Okay. Was it how they changed the Sarlacc pit?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
I did not like this much. How much that they changed it so Han didn't shoot first.
Oh God! Damn it!
If I had to get rid of one of those two,
That was
I
right
either,
there.
They changed it so he couldn't shoot first?
That's-
where Greedo was shooting first or at the same time, depending on the special edition.
Yeah, and then they did that weird cut where like
Where he
it
moves
just
his
he's
head.
just like
Oh,
all of a sudden his head's just like
Yeah.
Yeah,
here.
that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree
Yeah.
with you on that.
I would sit through 3 minutes of stupid special
Well,
edition Return
you-
of the Jedi song
no,
if
'cause-
they just have the original Han shoots first.
Because you're right, because that actually changes
His
like
character.
it changes the whole character thing. Whereas
Yeah.
like I can get over like a little
It's terrible to
musical
sit
thing
through
and-
that thing. I that's the first thing that came to mind was the Jabba's Palace song.
Well, the reason why that's actually harder to get through because it is an extended scene. Whereas,
Exactly.
like when Han doesn't shoot first anymore, it's
Yeah.
just like it happens and it's over. You're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But it's
But-
over.
but
You're
it's
not
over.
like Han didn't shoot first for a minute and a
But
half.
But
like,
it's painful
oh,
to sit through that alien song.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Brutal.
the song was horrible. I completely agree with Joey on that.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary
Yeah.
in my mind.
Oh,
But
completely.
And the scene they should have added was C-3PO tearing the danger sign
Oh.
off.
Yeah, no, the danger.
Empire Strikes Back.
danger thing on.
For the
Oh my
Wampa.
gosh.
The Wampa and Empire Strikes Back.
I don't know if people know what we're talking about, but
Look up,
the
it's a-
danger sign
It's a
on
deleted,
a door.
It's a deleted scene in Empire Strikes Back with
Yeah.
C-3PO on Hoth. You should look it up. It's really good.
It's so good.
It's so comical.
It
He's
definitely.
walking up. There's a danger sign on a door. He tears it off.
Stops, tears it off, catches up.
That's something that I would love for a bin movie, but I totally see why it was cut.
It should have been cut, but it's so funny. It was
It
the,
doesn't make that much sense.
it was the right decision to cut it because it was unnecessary, but it's really funny.
It is too funny.
Then Darth comes to the door and goes,
Yep.
"No,
Yeah, just turns,
no, we don't go through that."
turns and looks at it. It's like, nope. Just keep walking.
Which I think there was supposed to be some voiceover
Yeah,
in
'cause
that.
it's just some guy screaming or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a beautiful way to end it. Yeah. You have
Absolutely.
Anything else?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Glad to be back, guys.
Wow. That was incredible. Thanks, guys. Okay. Well, there you go. Episode 7 in the books.
Boom.
All right, boom. You can follow us on Twitter at Force Projection. You can follow me on Twitter at Joey Anderson PDX. Also, you can follow us on Facebook. Just search Force Projection. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else you get podcasts. Be sure to leave a review if you like the discussion. And please tweet me, text me if you know me personally, email me.
He
questions.
prefers tweeting.
I prefer tweeting or email. Email me questions, or just write to me. I don't know. Send me a letter. Send me
Any way, shape, or form, get to Joey.
Send me some.
Get him.
Send me.
Get at him.
Send me some snail mail. I don't care. Handwritten letter with stamps on it.
Oh, wow.
Mail to me.
Rent a billboard.
Rent a
Actual
billboard.
physical mail letter. Does that even... That does exist.
Yes, Dan. It still exists. That's yeah. Okay. All right. This is me. Hey, may the force be with everybody. Dan, would you like to say the final goodbye?